Good morning! Elliot said what? Shit people ask Elliot going on today. I'm gonna fuck some shit up with a medicine ball. Medicine ball and stone day. Stones and balls. Take my ball and go home. Banana.
Wants to know what you could bench when you were in like high school.
Oh, when I was in high school, I remember the first time I benched 185 pounds. I used to set up the barbell in the basement, and my goal was to hit a plate and a quarter, and I just left it in the basement. And I'd be like, I'd play video games, or I'd go upstairs and eat. I lay in my bed, and like every few minutes or every hour, I'd go, I'd unrack that shit. Cling. I'd slide out, I'd pick it back up, and it took me, I didn't know any better too, I was a kid. It took me a good couple months before I could hit that 185. I think I was in 9th grade. What's your goal? What's your bench press goal?
Mr. John Green wants to know the best overall core strengthening exercise.
Deadlift. But see, here the thing is, a lot of people don't activate their core when they're doing the deadlift. They rest on their posterior ligamentous system, meaning they don't activate the abdominals. So deadlifts would be if most people didn't have dysfunctional cores. So this is where I say a lot of times you have to isolate. The core is a set of muscles that should be isolated in most instances because most people don't recruit them in their multi-joint exercises. So if that's the case, then work on your planks.
Patrick Methier wants to know, how can I get the biggest traps as possible?
Deadlifts, farmer's carries, shrugs, right? I mean, just do the fucking exercise. High reps, heavy weight, change it up, frequency, twice a week sometimes, once a week.
What's the best shoulder warm-up for rotator cuffs?
Just work through full ranges of motion. I mean, remember when you were a kid or when we were kids and we would do this in phys ed, right? I think we overcomplicate shit. Like it needs to be some kind of magical new exercise with bands and do like, I seen guys doing warm-ups that's like all doing this kind of shit. That's fancy, that's nice, that's cool. But remember these? Yo, remember these? I don't know if you remember these.
Yeah.
That's a good fucking exercise, right? I mean, it looks like some shit from the 50s that they did in MASH. That's good stuff. Just do basic fucking movements like arm circles. These ones here, right? Really easy. But nobody wants to do that. They want to do the magic shit.
When you say tighten your core, this guy wants to know, do you mean flex your abs to create the internal pressure or thrust out your gut? I think you should be ever thrusting out.
There's a lot of power lifters that do that though, but here's what you're doing when you do that. You're creating the corsetting effect through the belt as opposed to the abdominals, the muscles.
How do you deal with all the odds against you, basically being the underdog in your situation?
Well, if you're an underdog, there's a lot of fear there, right? I mean, just the term itself. You're underneath and you're fighting, you're scrapping. And fear, regardless of its vibratory power, is a very energizing emotion. So if you're an underdog, you're scrapping, you're scratching, you're working your ass off to get on top. So I would say that often it's to your benefit to find the path of most resistance so that you are the underdog, so that you are fueled with the power of fear or overcoming. So, you know, there's a lot of power to fear. People like to say avoid fear at all costs, but if you're not fearful, that means there's no resistance. If there's fear on the path, that means that that's probably the right path. So look for scary shit to do. Look for opportunities to be the underdog, because the resistance is the path.
This is a longer question. Zach Kirchen. Currently training and preparing for my first PL meet. Need to drop 7 pounds to make weight in August. Can you shoot me some advice on diet and intake for 24 hours out and training 7 days out? Currently on a 5-3-1 program. He says he loves you.
I had to drop like 12 pounds for one of my strongman competitions, and it's not a healthy thing to do, to cut water like that. I think there's an article on Elite FTS by Matt Krokolotsky about cutting for an event, but I remember taking the advice of one of my powerlifting friends, and you essentially have to dehydrate, like hyperhydrate the 2 days out and then completely dehydrate afterwards, meaning drink no water. Also, if at that point you're still overweight, you take magnesium citrate, which is like it makes you poop, and you're pooping water out and spitting. I remember spitting to get all the water out of your body. It sucks. It's not healthy, but then you hyperhydrate afterwards by drinking a lot of like Gatorade. I know one guy used to put like baking soda in his water to like swell back up. Yeah, you can do that. You do that shit often enough, you get a heart attack though. That's why a lot of powerlifters, when they get old, they're just unhealthy. Heads look like they're gonna explode. All red and big. Whoa, that's high.
What would your prime vacation be? What would it consist of?
Laying in my hammock. That's it. That's it.
By yourself?
I'm a simple man. Yeah, pretty much.
Just chilling, huh? Smoking a cigar? Drinking a beer? No?
No, I found peace in just laying in that fucking hammock and doing nothing, just looking out the window. We need to be outside or near a window. Matter of fact, it'll probably be in my living room. Matter of fact, I was doing that yesterday. Matter of fact, I'm going on vacation as soon as we're done here. Ah! Let me get on this one next.
It says supinated grip hurts my elbows really bad. Will it ever go away, or is there anything that I can do to make it go away?
You gotta consider, like, when you grab supinated, right? You're talking about chin-ups and shit. Naturally, your hands are gonna look like that. Look at that, it's like an angle, right? But then you grab the bar, and you have to kind of rotate in, because the bar is straight. So you're gonna keep hurting your elbow, because the bar is straight. The best would be if you can get like on an angle like that, right? But one of the ways that you can counteract that is because the strain comes down right into your elbow from your pinky when you do this, right? And then you're fighting against it. Is that when you're doing other exercises, try to squeeze more with these fingers here. Boom. And strengthen the outside. Jed Johnson has a YouTube channel and he's got some books on this shit. He's a grip training expert. Look up Jed Johnson stuff. Jedediah. I'm messing up my panda.
What's your experience with alcohol and gains? Do you have any?
Yeah, alcohol fucks up my gains because you got to recover from alcohol, right? And you got to recover from training, right? So your body has to say to itself this: okay, I now have poison in my body and I have to build muscle. Which one's gonna come first? Detoxification always comes first. Your body has a hierarchy in detoxification. Getting rid of toxins and poison in your body is at the top of that list. Muscle building is way down here. It's way down here with vitality, sex too. So you guys that are real toxic and your dick can't get hard, you gotta flip it around. Clean your body and your vitality will go up. Wet shirt. It's all wet panda.
Thicker, stronger neck. What is your best advice for that?
I made a video about this, and having the thicker, stronger neck is less important than having a balanced neck. The neck is a part of the area that tends to get really tense, and not trained in a balanced fashion, you start to get these muscles right here become really tonic. These are your sternocleidomastoid muscles, right? And the tighter they get, the more your head starts to protrude, your neck starts to extend. Also, these muscles back here, they start to clench down too. So you end up doing a lot of exercises like this, and your head goes further and further out this way. I said in a video last week that your head is your navigational center. So if your head is off kilter, the rest of your body's off kilter. The rest of your body will readjust itself so that your head doesn't fall off. So what would be really more important is to make sure that you strengthen the deep cervical flexors, the muscles in the front part of your neck, right? That help you do that. So whenever you do like crunching exercises or deadlifts, you notice when I teach corrective deadlifts, what do I say? Chin in, long neck, long neck. Keeping the tongue on the roof of your mouth also engages these muscles. So you wanna have a balanced neck, good posture, rather than a big old fucking retard looking neck. I'm Jack, come and get me, y'all. Come and get me. Boom, take your chin right off, it's sticking it out. These guys with big necks sticking their chin out. Take that shit off. Whose shirt is this? Somebody left this shirt here. That's yours?
Yeah. What you trying to do, just wipe your hands off?
I was about to wear it.
Put it on. Please put that fucking shirt on.
Yeah, I need a dry shirt.
Put it on.
You put it on.
So this is Chris, 120-pound Chris. Putting his shirt on. I'm tearing this shit up, bro. All right, are you smiling? So I guess it's okay. Yeah, this'll work. It's like I'm wearing an Under Armour. It's like a power lifter. Come on, get me, guys. Much better. Yeah, I've been slipping all over the place.
Yo, Nate wants to know what your favorite cigar is.
Oh, I tried so many different cigars. Padrones are the best. Padron, P-A-D-R-O-N. Jose Padron.
I'll second that.
Every Padron cigar is good. From my favorite one is the 80th anniversary. But anything, even their little cigarillos are great.
You have any meditation camps or anything going on?
Come to my Grow Stronger experience. I'm gonna do one in Canada, I'm doing 3 in Europe, I'm doing 1 in Tampa before the year's over. I might do 1 in New York and LA. But there'll be a lot of meditation going on, a lot of dynamic meditation, breathing, chanting, dancing. All that kind of stuff.
What do you think about Mike Rashid and overtraining? Is that even a valid question?
I think Mike Rashid is jacked, and I don't know if he's overtraining. Apparently, it's working for him. Right? Keep on overtraining, Mike. That shit seems to be working for you. Right? I think it's very subjective, and I also think somebody said it the other day that it's not so much overtraining, it's under recovery. I think that's a valid point too. If you're training your face off, but you resting a lot, you're eating right, you're keeping your stress low, you're well hydrated, you're getting a massage, you're stretching, you're doing all those other things, man, you be all right. You can train your face off. You be all right.
You have any tips for low back pain relief?
Yeah. Again, that's one of those things where you need an assessment, figure out what someone's problem really is. Oftentimes, low back pain is a product of muscular imbalances in the hips. You know, if you have tight hip flexors, tight psoas, weak abdominals, that'll cause low back pain. But you got to assess that, because some people have frontal plane imbalances that cause torsion. You can have one leg shorter than the other, that causes torsion. You know, you can have a lateral bulging disc, anterior bulging disc, right? So, you know, I don't know. There's all kinds of shit. Get an x-ray, get an MRI, and then go see a good exercise physiologist. Or you could be constipated. All right, constipation. Hey, y'all think that's a joke. You got too much shit packed up in your gut, it'll press on your sciatic nerve. A lot of people relieve sciatica by taking a shit. Dead serious.
How do you assess who a good exercise physiologist is?
I say find a Czech practitioner. Somebody who studied with Paul Czech. Level 2, level 3. They'll do a good assessment on you. But there's others.
Hey, what do you call an alligator in a vest? An investigator.
That was great.
What's your favorite form of cardio?
I started running last week. I like jogging. I mean, it's painful. I resist it, but it works. And when I'm done doing it, I feel great. So can't argue with that. Walking and running, right? Real basic.
Tyler says when I curl or pull underhand, I have forearm pain. Overhand and hammers are fine. Do you know what's going on, or how can I help this?
Well, the majority of our life is in a flexion position. The flexion position is like the fetal position. That's our path of least resistance, right? And it even includes our hands and shit. If you look at the activities that we mostly engage in during the day, it's this, right? We're here, we're always in flexion. So if you're having, the pain most likely is an imbalance between flexion and extension. A lot of people who have carpal tunnel syndrome and whatnot, it's because the extenders are not strong enough. One of the things you could do we still have that rice bucket?
Should be over there.
We do. Hey, look at that, all these bugs in here eating the rice. Because you could work with one of these, extending your fingers. Whoa, that is actually pretty tough. Let's work flexion and extension. There's a bunch of different exercises you could do in here. But really, the bottom line is you got to work on your extensors. you got to work on your extensors of your hand.
You gotta eat bugs.
More than likely, you know. That's one of those things you could look to Jed Johnson again.
Should be him. All right.
Jed Johnson will teach you a little bit about that.
Yo, Elliot, how did you first get clients? as a personal trainer?
I first got clients because I worked at a fitness gym. And if you work at most fitness gyms, they give you leads, and it's a matter of you closing the leads. So you have to be a good salesman. That's the first tip. If you have leads, meaning people who may be interested in your service, you got to be able to close the deal. And that's a science, that's a skill, it's an art. Fucking that shirt up. So learn how to close. Now, when you don't have someone feeding you leads, you got to go and get your own leads. So you got to understand how to market. I got my first clients because I studied internet marketing. And I learned how to get my website to rank as #1 for personal trainer St. Petersburg in Google. So people would call me, I'd have a lead, I know how to close the lead. I have sales experience. That's really it. It's two things, leads and closing. Get leads, close them. One without the other is worthless.
How do you politely cut off a leech? I think he means, how do you politely cut off somebody that you don't necessarily want to talk to or is annoying you?
If they mean a leech like an acute leech or a chronic leech, because you have two different types. An acute leech is very simple because you don't have a relationship with the person. You just, and walk away. I mean, I find myself doing that to people all the time. Like they just want to suck the shit out of you. We're just having a normal conversation and then they just go, and they want to suck on you. So you just have to start cutting back with your feedback and then slowly turn away. That's pretty easy. But if you have a chronic leech, that means you attracted that person into your life and at some point they served you well. That's why they're there. It was a symbiotic relationship that maybe you've grown out of. If that's the case, now it's important for you to develop your communication skills because you're gonna have to tell that person, listen, I have to start spending less time with you. I love you, you're a great guy, but I can't hang out today. You know, sometimes it's hard. I once heard that your life will be measured by the amount of difficult conversations you have. So you might just have to have a difficult conversation with that person.
My strength gains have plateaued. You got any tips or advice?
If your strength gains plateaued, it's a programming issue. So I would suggest that you stop doing what you've been doing and take a break. Oftentimes for athletes, especially high-level athletes or people who've achieved a great deal, the hardest thing to do is to back off. And sometimes that's exactly what you need to do. You need to back off, meaning you can either back off on the intensity, using less weight for a little while, back off on the frequency, take a break, back off on the volume. Instead of hitting so many sets, so many different exercises, choose one. So there's so many different parameters. Are you taking long enough rest intervals? Are your rest intervals too short? Sometimes just by giving yourself an extra minute, all of a sudden you're stronger. Really what you want to understand are strength training foundation principles. Frequency, intensity, also tempo. You know, the speed at which you're doing the exercises. So those are some of the things you might want to look at.
What's your favorite stretches?
Oh, the bow, bioenergetic stool. Laying over the stool, stretching my hips, stretching my thoracic spine. Nothing better than that. So search my channel for all those videos on how to do the bow, how to breathe into your balls, how to use a bioenergetic stool, how to breathe. Because breathing is a stretching exercise also. Because oftentimes we grow very tense right here. We don't breathe with our bodies. Most people breathe with their mouth. Very shallow, but you need your whole body to expand when you breathe. Breathing is a full body movement. So by foam rolling and stretching this particular area throughout the chest, you open up your body's capacity to expand. So it's all stretching. Breathing is a stretch mechanism, right? Your exhalation is the contraction, is the when you expand, to let go.
Is there a stretching video in that exclusive playlist?
Yup. And you give me $1, I'll give you my stretching routine. Yeah. In that playlist. Ugh. Man, that's hard. What's that?
I'm trying to be a badass trainer like you. How the hell do I memorize everything?
That dude was at open gym.
Today? He was there this week?
Yeah.
Yeah. Who was it? Which guy was it?
I don't know if it's the same kid, but it looks like him. He asked, how do you memorize all that shit?
Yo, I gotta be honest, I don't memorize shit. I pull this all out my ass. Can't you tell I'm bullshitting most of the time?
Or sometimes when you start bullshitting, you start to remember the shit that you need to remember too.
Yep. Yeah, let the bullshit flow. Something good gonna come out eventually. That's why if you watch 100 of my videos, one of them might be good. I just let the bullshit flow. But seriously, I only remember things that affect me viscerally. Like if it has no bearing on my life, like it hasn't transformed me, hasn't helped me, hasn't done anything for me, it goes in one ear and out the other. But the minute something comes in and I digest it, assimilate it, utilize it, then it becomes a part of who I am. So it's not easy for me to memorize quotes or to memorize studies or to memorize statistics. It's easy for me to recall experiences that I've had with information that I heard. Does that make more sense? If I hear something in it and I have a visceral response, it just stays in me and then I can recall it later. But if it's something like I gotta memorize, like I need to memorize this quote, I need to memorize this statistic, ain't gonna work. My body thinks better than my head.
Why are you so addicted to fucking bananas?
Why are you so addicted to eating bananas, bro?
I'm not addicted to eating bananas. I eat bananas because I have to eat bananas because I need carbs. I'm not addicted to that. I do it because I got to do it, whether I feel like it or not. That's that.
Banana!
Here we go. One of the.
Elliot, pardon my sickness, but if you could give one tip to someone who wants a career in law enforcement, training-wise, what would it be?
He wants a tip in law enforcement training. So he wants to get into law enforcement, and he wants to know the best training he could do before he goes and tries out and does it. You know what I mean?
It's like studying for any other test, right? Like you want to know what's on the exam. If you're training for law enforcement tests, right? They're going to test your fitness, find out what fitness tests they want you to excel at, and then you train those tests. You know, I think a mistake that a lot of people go into it. We see a lot of like young dudes that want to go into the military and they start bodybuilding. So like all that muscle ain't gonna help you because you're gonna put on a bag and you're gonna run 10 miles a day. You should put on a bag and run 10 miles a day instead of trying to increase your bench press because it has no bearing on the test that you're gonna take. So find out what they want you to do. That's called sport specific. Find out what they gonna test you in and then you do that shit. Everything else can go out the window. Don't do bodybuilding. Ain't gonna test your bodybuilding.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you guys right now, the shorter your questions are, the more apt they'll be to be asked. Just a heads up.
Hey, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I enjoyed answering your questions. See you at the next episode.